Today's class will be on skeletal maturity indicators. Okay, so why the dentist should be knowing about the skeletal maturity? Because we are concerned, or we are dealing with the area of maxillofacial region. So in the field of dentofacial orthopedics and orthodontics, it is very much important to assess the time, duration, velocity of each individual patient's growth, okay, to go ahead and do certain treatment plan. Okay, certain treatment plan will be totally different based on the skeletal maturity. For example, in cases of skeletal malocclusion like class 2 or class 3 skeletal malocclusion, our treatment plan will be different for an adolescent patient and it will be different for the adult patient. For the adult patient, we will be going ahead and do an orthognathic surgery, but for the skeletal malocclusion in the adolescent cases, we have to do certain functional appliances case treatment. Okay, so to know that, to formulate the treatment plan, we have to know which stage of growth that particular patient is in. Okay, and also in some cases the chronological age will be a discrepancy in terms of tooth eruption. For that particular schedule, it will not erupt properly. In that cases also, we have to assess the skeletal maturity. And in endocrine conditions, endocrine disturbances, and also in cases of infection, neoplasm, okay, genetic conditions, we would like to assess the skeletal maturity, and also to predict the pubertal growth in certain cases. Okay, so to formulate the proper treatment plan, okay, the growth spurt has to be understood. For any growth, there are stages like initiation, acceleration, there will be a peak, deceleration, and the end of the growth. Okay, so normally this pattern will be there for everyone. Only exception is that the girls are early maturers and the boys are late maturers. So we have more time period to go ahead and do some functional appliance cases in the boys. Even they are like 13, we can go ahead, 13, 14, we can go ahead and do certain cases. But the girls are early maturers, so they have to be addressed as early as possible for the skeletal malocclusion. Okay, and to assess the chronological, we have lot of not only skeletal age, chronologically it is not reliable, so we are not using it. Dental development can also be used in assessing the maturity of the patient, but skeletal age we can assess by hand wrist radiograph, cervical vertebral radiograph, and lateral cephalogram, but mostly used is the hand wrist radiograph. So hand wrist radiograph, there are lot of methods. Okay, to remember these methods, I'm just giving you a simple mnemonic. That is, there is an atlas. Okay, there is an atlas A which is in brown color. Okay, and in the atlas there is a picture of fisherman and a hang. Okay, there is a picture of fisherman and hang. So that is atlas method, brown method, fisherman's method, hang and Terangan method. The author we have to remember, especially this author is so famous because this is the one we are using commonly. Okay, Ruelich and Pyle. This is Jock and Gray, Ruelich and Pyle. Remember this is so important. So this method is only we are going to see now. Okay, before going ahead with the assessment with this method, I'll just teach you the certain terminologies. Okay, distal means which is away from the midline, proximal means towards the midline. Okay, for example, you consider this one, this is towards the midline, not towards the midline. So this is proximal, this is away, so away is distal. In between the proximal and the distal is the middle one. Okay, in between is the middle is the in between distal and proximal. Okay, and also in the wrist radiography we will be seeing couple of things, that is two long bones, that is R. Okay, R, that is radial, U ulnar. Okay, this long bone ends will be seen. Okay, and also two rows of carpal. Can you see? So two rows of carpal, which represents the wrist region, and there will be 5 metacarpal. MC I have written 5 metacarpals corresponding to each finger and thumb. Okay, and there will be 14 phalanges. 3 in each finger for 4 teeth, totally 12. And here alone there will be only 2 phalanges in the thumb. Only 2 phalanges. 3 phalanges in rest of the 4 fingers. Okay, so numbering should be first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. While studying this, you keep the palm facing towards you, so that you will be able to understand it better. Okay, and there will be a small sesamoid bone here, that is a small nodule of bone which is near the tendon of thumb. Okay, thumb region, there will be a small nodular bone called sesamoid. So these are the things we have explained. So also you have to know there is a primary ossification center called diaphysis, and there is a secondary ossification center is called epiphysis. This width we will be seeing, how much of width is the proportion of width between epiphysis and diaphysis will be seeing, whether it is equal or whether it is just covering it like a cap. Okay, whether it is fused. This will determine the stage of bone growth. Okay, that indirectly says how much mature the patient is to go ahead and do a treatment plan. Okay, so in this there will be totally 11 stages in the Atlas method. Okay, 11 stages. First 3 will be epiphysis will be equal to diaphysis. The width of the epiphysis will be equal to the diaphysis. Width will be equal to the diaphysis. Okay, and there will be an appearance of sesamoid bone. Remember that. And the third part will be capping of epiphysis and diaphysis. There will be a capping. This epiphysis will be equal initially, and later it will just cap like this. There will be a pointed at the edges in the 2-dimensional radiograph. Okay, it will be capping. Later capping will turn into fusion. This will come and fuse with the diaphysis. Okay, this is width is equal, sesamoid appears, capping of epiphysis over diaphysis, and fusion of epiphysis over diaphysis. There will be lot of things like proximal phalange of third finger, middle phalange of third finger, middle phalanges of fifth finger. So there will be lot of things. Do not get confused. I will say a easy diagrammatic representation to remember this. Okay, it says like epiphysis will be equal to the diaphysis in the third finger of proximal phalange of third finger. So to remember this in 11 stages, it's very difficult. So I'll say you are mnemonic with a diagrammatic representation. To remember this, you just put an reverse L. Okay, reverse L, put dots in 3 points, and also like this L, put dots here, 1, 2. Okay, this direction I'm putting. And also there will be a J, put the joint dots. If you remember this diagram, you will easily remember. When I'm going to say this, you just follow this and this diagram. Okay, you consider this as a 5 fingers. Okay, this is a small finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and the thumb. Thumb has only 2 phalanges, all the rest has 3 phalanges. Okay, this is a sesamoid bone in the tendon of the thumb. So first is where we started here. This is proximal phalanges of the third finger. Okay, and then there will be middle phalanges of the third finger. This is middle phalange of the fifth finger. Can you follow this, whatever I am saying? And there will be a ossification in the sesamoid bone appears, okay, and there will be a capping. All the three stages, whatever I am going to say, is the capping. So that's why the blue color, you just follow. This is the distal phalange of the third finger. This is the middle phalange of the third finger and the middle phalange of the fifth finger. Are you following it? And then fusion. The next 3-4 stages will be fusion. Okay, that is the J I have told you. Distal phalange of the third finger. Distal phalange of the third finger, proximal phalange of the third finger, and the middle phalange of the third finger. Okay, and last there will be a radial bone will be fusion of epiphysis and diaphysis of the radius. You just add, in addition you are going to add radius. Okay, in addition we are going to add radius, fusion. Okay, so this is the diagram, just remember this J. Okay, this one middle phalange I am just putting here. Okay, this is proximal phalange of third finger, middle phalange, and the middle phalange of the fifth finger. And then this one, this is sesamoid, sorry, and then distal phalange of the third finger, middle phalange of third finger, and the middle phalange of fifth finger. Then J, this proximal phalange of the third finger, distal phalange of the third finger, proximal phalange of third finger, and the middle phalange of third finger. Then plus the radius you have to write. Okay, this is the overall view. If you have any doubts regarding the video, you can just clarify in the comment section. Thank you.